President Sahakian, esteemed members of the school board, Superintendent Watson, staff, respected colleagues, students, and members of our community. My name is Tali Narsenyan. I'm the granddaughter of Armenian genocide survivors, the daughter of immigrants, the mother of two Keppel Toll Hoover alumni, a 26-year GUSD math teacher, and the proud president of the Glendale Teachers Association, the educator-led union of over 1,300 educators who work to make Glendale Unified School District one of the best in the nation. Before I begin my labor comments, I would like to congratulate Board Member Neda Farid for being honored at the Roosevelt Awards as the Democrat of the Year for the 44th District. Thank you for your service to our Assembly District and to GUSD students and staff. Also, congratulations to our Filipino families and happy Filipino American History Month, and also happy National Principals Month and Week of the School Administrator to all of our school principals. Thank you for all you do for us. Almost a year ago on this date, we celebrated a new superintendent, Dr. Watson, who signed a 4-year contract as the new superintendent of GUSD. At that meeting, in her closing remarks, Dr. Watson proclaimed, "This is a district in trauma. We are traumatized on so many levels." Educators heard those words, appreciated the harsh honesty, and felt hopeful that Dr. Watson would lead us towards recovery. Let me recap where we were in October 2023 and why educators were feeling trauma. We were being personally attacked by violent and abusive anti-public education extremists. The safety and well-being of students and employees were being threatened. Many educators were scared. Trauma was the right word. But there was also labor unrest. While other districts were securing multi-year wage increases approaching close to 20%, wage negotiations in GUSD for 22-23 were not complete, and 23-24 negotiations had not yet begun. The GTA contract with GUSD had expired just 4 months prior, which means members were working without a contract. Nearly all GUSD step and column salaries had fallen well below the median in the LA County summary for unified school districts. And this was inexplicable because funding was at a record high with an expected over 20% increase in GUSD's ongoing unrestricted dollars over 2 years. So in addition to fighting to ensure that our campuses remain safe for LGBTQ+ students and employees, our curriculum remain culturally inclusive, and that we remain free to fulfill our constitutional responsibility to ensure all students and staff, our constitutional responsibility to ensure, and I quote, all students and staff of primary, elementary, junior high, and senior high schools have the inalienable right to attend campuses that are safe, secure, and peaceful. In addition to that, GUSD educators also had to organize and fight for fair wages and working conditions. This was exhausting, painful, and yes, traumatic. So Dr. Watson, when educators heard you categorize that moment in time with the word trauma, we were hopeful that you had a plan to lift us out of the trauma through fair pay and labor peace. Unfortunately, nearly a year has passed since that school board meeting, and this district is still in trauma. We are traumatized on so many levels. Dr. Watson and GUSD School Board, what have you done to address the trauma that you acknowledged and that educators are still experiencing by continuing to work in GUSD? Most of last year's issues have not been addressed or resolved, and many of them have exacerbated with time. Here's where we are in October 2024. The record high ongoing COLAs from past years continue to be budgeted away from classrooms and the educators who directly work with students. Wages for 22-23 and 23-24 remain unsettled, and this current school year, 24-25, has not yet been opened. This means that GUSD teachers, counselors, nurses, and essential service providers have been working with a contract that expired 1 year and 4 months ago, and are receiving wages that are far below wages in neighboring districts. GUSD salaries have dropped even further in the LA County Unified School District rankings. No longer are we merely below the median. GUSD educator salaries are now below quartile 1 in all steps and columns. The district called an impasse, shutting down face-to-face negotiations, outsourcing bargaining to an outside mediator during a time when GUSD had requested additional meeting dates, and in the summer when most members were off of work. This is trauma on so many levels. Dr. Watson, we know that you see the problem of which I am speaking, and we know that you want what is best for educators and students, and we have not given up on your honesty, goodwill, and capacity to fix bad situations. We also know that GUSD has strong bones, and we have not fallen apart entirely yet. But this has gone on way too long. The trauma is becoming the norm and educators are feeling used and undervalued. We are counting on you to initiate the healing process. We have 2 mediation sessions scheduled next week. Educators are hopeful that your team will be ready to work productively with the mediators so that we can move away from this trauma. Thank you.